Ladies and gentlemen, there's a wonderful debate on Tim Pool with a very respected and popular liberal pundit who has a YouTube channel with another person. Couple things that this pundit stated categorically untrue regarding Hunter and a more equitable society. So the person said, our goal is to have a more equitable society. Poverty rates have gone up since 2019 when we had record low poverty with Trump. So the basis of every left-leaning ideology is you care about poor people, but there are more poor people now. Poverty has gone up for every demographic since 2019 and even since 2020. Excuse me. Poverty rates, crime rates, homelessness, all have gone up. More people lost their lives of you-know-what in Biden's first year in office. So we can talk about that. The poverty rates have gone up. There's no rebuttal to that. Real wages have been down, I believe, either every day of Biden's presidency or almost every day of Biden's presidency. Real wages are down. Okay, so we can talk about that. Democrats will never pass a Medicare for all or single payer. That is the greatest lie told by Bernie Sanders and AOC. It's simply to funnel left-leaning votes back into the Democratic Party. That's a whole other story. What took place with an exchange between Tim Pool and this Democratic Party pundit regarding the firing of a prosecutor in a country invaded under Biden's watch. This is USA Today. At the heart of Congress's probe into the president's actions is the claim that the former vice president and Democratic frontrunner Joe Biden strong-armed a government to fire its top prosecutor in order to thwart an investigation into a company tied to his son Hunter. This is absolutely true. There is absolutely evidence to show this. And the rebuttal hasn't been proven. Nothing was ever proven with Trump, yet they indicted him. Nothing has ever been proven. But they created a new Cold War and a McCarthy-era Red Scare scenario simply to obsess like imbeciles that Trump worked with another country. This never happened. It not only never happened, it was the creation of Clinton, who was fined by the DNC for purchasing the Steele dossier. Fined by the FEC. The only person fined by the FEC was Clinton and the DNC, not Trump. Anyway, quote, but sources ranging from former Obama administration officials to anti-corruption advocate in that country say official Shokin was ousted for the opposite reason Trump and his allies claim. There's no evidence on a congressional level or on any level that U.S. foreign policy indicated forcing out a prosecutor because the person didn't do his job. There's never been any evidence of that other than Hunter was on the board of directors of a company being investigated. And an email from the New York Post from Hunter's laptop. So when people were saying, oh, well, it was because the prosecutor wasn't doing his job. Well, then why did this email come out of Hunter's laptop? How can you use this is the New York Post, an earlier email from May 2014 shows, reportedly that company's number 3 exec asking Hunter for, quote, advice on how you could use your influence on the company's behalf. You have an email asking for a favor. You have money flow going to Hunter and Joe, who is the big man in one of the emails. I mean, you have to be a complete imbecile not to see. You don't have to connect the dots. It's right there. Then you have CBS News, U.S. banks investigated over 150 transactions involving Biden's brother or son for further review. 150 reports on wrongdoing. Okay? It was never U.S. foreign policy to force out one specific prosecutor. That was a complete farce, just like when the DNC, when the emails were published, and they said, oh my God, it's a plot of another country to sway everybody to Trump. It's like, no. Those emails showed that the Democratic Party cheated Bernie Sanders. Yeah, obviously people are going to be upset. Obviously it'll help any opponent to the Democratic Party. But if you're going to go there, then why didn't they hack or go into Clinton's private servers with top secret intel? So they would only go after the DNC emails, and the DNC never gave their computer servers to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Why? Anyway, the point is, they don't even have a functioning primary, and they talk about democracy and an equitable society. You're talking about a political party that's so corrupt, poverty goes up, they cheat their own candidates, and they create McCarthy-era Red Scare scenarios, and then when they're caught in the act, and hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen, when they're caught in the act, they then say, it was U.S. policy. Oh, and then the appeal to authority during this debate was hilarious. It's like, okay, well then countries with Medicare for all do something different. Oh, well, those are conservative governments. It's like, wait a second, is Medicare, is single payer good? Should we have policies like those countries? Or no. So it was unbelievable. You probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it was just unbelievable, this debate that Tim Pool had. But Trump, hopefully getting in, he has a very good chance because mashed potato brains, his poll numbers are dreadful. The country is, like I said, poverty rates have increased. This is a fact. Crime, homelessness in every major city has increased. Crime rates have increased. The poverty rate around the country has increased since 2019 when we had highest ever household median income with Trump. We had the highest ever household median income for every demographic group, and the poverty rates were the lowest ever with Trump in 2019. This is a fact. Poverty hit the lowest on record, lowest rate on record, and people were making more money than ever, and the inflation rate was around 2%. Now it's far greater than the 4 to 5% that they claim for food, energy, and rent. Okay, this is directly the result of Biden's policies. Initially, he said, well, you know what, there is no inflation, it's just temporary. Then he flooded the country full of 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves when his energy policy didn't work. We can go on forever. But Trump, when he gets back in office, with a new attorney general, Hunter did commit crimes. You can easily prove that they were given kickbacks, it was a bribery scheme, and a complete racket. It's not difficult to prove that. It was never U.S. foreign policy because we know when Biden told on himself, he even stated in the when he was speaking to the Council on Foreign Relations, he said, oh yeah, and they said you have no authority. He said, go ask the president. President Obama never even mentioned forcing out a prosecutor. No Democrat at that time ever mentioned forcing out a prosecutor. The reason is because they had to go back in time like they usually do and create an excuse for Biden's behavior. So they said, oh, yeah, well, he forced out a prosecutor. But it's not U.S. foreign policy to force out prosecutors. Okay? Obviously, you're going to get Obama administration officials, academics, going to bat for the Democrat. They're liberal Democrats. So you have money flow, hundreds of millions of dollars into these accounts. You have Hunter that has zero experience in oil and gas. You have an email. This is an article in the New York Post. Email reveals Hunter introduced businessman to VP dad. Joe lied about his son Hunter's business deals, knowing about Hunter's business deals. Joe has lied. Mashed Potato Brains has lied more often than Trump ever did about grandiose issues. Okay? They altered U.S. foreign policy specifically to appease a business transaction. Hunter was on the board of directors. Why? Of an energy company. He has no background, in energy. So he's on the board of directors, has no background in energy. You have an email stating, okay, how can you use your influence on the company's behalf? This is a New York Post. You have literally an email asking for help. They get the help. There's 150 very suspicious activity reports. And then the pundit on Tim Pool says, there just hasn't been proven. There's more evidence to show massive corruption with the Hunter scandal than anything with Trump. And they had to purchase a Steele dossier while they were cheating Bernie Sanders. And I don't understand how you could say with a straight face you want an equitable society and you want Medicare for all after you cheat Bernie Sanders and do nothing about it. and just then create a Red Scare McCarthy era world? Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Trump will, within a new attorney general, go after Hunter. He has the evidence to send him to prison. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.